Hello students. In this video, we will start with the metal carbene. Okay, we will study what is the metal carbene, what are the types of the metal carbene, and also we will study about the structure and bonding of metal carbene. So, the definition of the metal carbene is given here. The organometallic compound that are containing metal ligand multiple bond. Okay, there must be a multiple bond between the metal and the carbon. Okay, it can be double bond or it can be triple bond also. Okay, so here you can see these are the examples of the metal carbene, that is metal having double bond with a carbon, and that carbon is attached to the other group. In this first four example, I mean this one and this one, this one and this one, here you can see that the carbon is connected to the hydrogen. Okay, here also it can be hydrogen and alkyl group. Okay, here it is both connected to the alkyl. R means it is an alkyl. Okay, here it is connected to H and here it is connected to R. So in the first four example, the substituents on the carbene carbon do not or are not capable of pi bond formation. Okay, remember in this first four example, since the substituents are alkyl and hydrogen, they do not have a capacity to form pi bond. Okay, while the next two example you can see here you have a OR means alkoxy group attached to a carbene carbon. Okay, this carbon is there, no, that is called as carbene carbon, and here it is phenyl group is connected to carbene carbon. So here these substituents on the carbene carbon is capable of forming pi bond. Okay, so next is the types of the carbene. The types of carbenes are, there are two types. Okay, one is a singlet and another one is a triplet carbene. Now, what is singlet carbene? The singlet carbene means if the two electrons on carbene carbon is paired. Okay, in general, how do we represent carbene? Carbene is represented like this, right? So let me show you how it is. So there is a carbon, it is connected to the other group, and there is a presence of a electron, right? The two electrons are present on the carbon and we call that is a carbene. Now if these two electron on the carbene carbon, this carbon is there, no, that is called as carbene carbon. Okay, if the electron here on the carbon is paired, then we call it as a singlet carbene. Okay, and if the two electrons is unpaired, okay, if sorry, it is unpaired. Okay, if the two electron on carbon carbon is unpaired, then we call it as a triplet carbene. Paired means like this, like this. If it is paired, we call it as a singlet. If it is unpaired, whether it can be like this or it can be like this also. Okay, if it is unpaired, then it is called as a triplet carbene. Okay, now I have given a singlet carbene structure. Here you can see the carbon, this carbon is there, no, that is carbene carbon, and these are the this carbon is connected to the other groups. It can be hydrogen or it can be alkyl group or any alkoxy group, or it can be even phenyl group. Okay, and these are p orbital. Okay, this is a p orbital and this is a s orbital. Remember, the carbene carbon is sp2 hybridized. Okay, it is sp2 hybridized. Okay, and in the singlet carbene, as I already said, the electrons are in the paired condition. You can see that electron is paired, correct? So here these are empty, p orbitals are empty. Okay, the triplet carbene. How triplet carbene is formed? There is a unpairing of the electron. It can be like this or it can be like this also. Okay. So here you can see the triplet carbene. The electrons are in unpaired condition. Okay. And while this is an empty p orbital. Okay. Now, singlet carbene, when do we call it a singlet carbene? In the singlet carbene, if there is a presence of a heteroatom, substituents on the carbene carbon, okay? In the singlet carbon, if you have the heteroatom substitution on the carbene carbon, heteroatom means it can be oxygen, or it can be amine groups, anything. Okay, if you have heteroatom substituent on the carbon carbon, then we call it as a singlet carbene. Okay, and that type of singlet carbene that is having the heteroatom substituents on a carbon carbon is called as Fischer carbene. Okay, remember this is very important. Fischer carbene, and we have one more carbene, that is triplet carbene, can also be called as Stokes carbene. Okay, Stokes carbene. Okay, that is very important. This Fischer carbene is electrophilic in nature. Okay, we will see how it is electrophilic in the later slides. So for the time being, understand in the singlet carbene there is a presence of at least one heteroatom substituent on the carbon carbon, and you can see here the substituents present on a carbon carbon is usually a pi donor substituents. Okay, they are pi donors. What are the examples? OR means alkoxy group ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ amine groups ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. Okay, on the carbon carbon substituent ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. And that type of singlet carbene is called as what? Fischer carbene, and these are usually electrophilic in nature. Okay, this this metal carbon is very important concept that is asked for the 6 mark once again. Okay, and triplet carbene, the triplet carbene, you can see there is no heteroatom. Okay, the substituent is very simple hydrogen or alkyl group. There is no presence of heteroatom like oxygen, nitrogen. Okay, there is no presence of such heteroatom here. You have very simple substituents like a hydrogen, or it can be alkyl group, like it can be CH3 group, methyl or ethyl group, any other alkyl group. Okay, if you have that type of substituent on the carbon carbon, we call it as a triplet carbene, and such type of triplet carbene is called as Stokes carbene. Okay, it is called as Stokes carbene, and these Stokes carbenes are usually a nucleophilic in nature. Once again, we will study how it is nucleophilic in nature, okay, in the later slides. For the time being, you understand that Fischer carbene has a heteroatom, while Stokes carbene do not have a heteroatom, and Fischer carbene is electrophilic in nature, while Stokes carbene is a nucleophilic in nature. Okay, so this is a Fischer carbene. Now, as I already said, the carbene carbon is sp2 hybridized, and the electron are in the paired condition. It is present here, correct? And these are empty p orbital on the carbon carbon, and this is a metal. Okay, this is a metal, and these are the d orbitals present on a metal. Okay, we are talking about the transition metal, right? So in the transition metals, of course, there is a presence of what? D orbitals. So these are representing a d orbital. Okay, here you can see this is the filled d orbital present on a metal. Okay, now what happens is that the filled orbital is there, no, here, where here filled orbital on the carbon carbon, here this one, that will donate to what? To the metal. Okay, while the filled d orbital is there, no, that will back donates its electron to the empty p orbital on the carbon. Hence there is a formation of double bond between the metal and a carbon in a Fischer carbene. Okay, so what happened? The filled orbitals on the carbon carbon donated to the empty metal orbital, while the filled d orbital on the metal will be back donated to the carbon empty p orbital. Okay, now remember the first, this is this type of interaction means the transfer of electron from this orbital to this orbital is very strong. Okay, the interaction, this interaction is very strong than the back donating. Okay, so this is weaker, this is stronger. Okay, I have written here, the filled sp2 orbital of the carbon carbon donates electron pair to the empty acceptor orbital of metal. Okay, that means this one, it is donated to what? Empty d orbital of the metal. Okay, and simultaneously what happened? Here you can see the d orbital, filled d orbital on the metal, back donates its electron to the empty p orbital of the carbon carbon. Okay, In Fisher type carbene, there is an overlap of two opposite dative interaction, but sigma bonding is much stronger than the pi back bonding. That means this type of interaction is much more stronger than this interaction. Okay, so since sigma bonding is much stronger than the pi back bonding to the carbon carbon, there will be a generation of the net positive charge on the carbon carbon. Okay, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಮೇಲೆ net positive charge generate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ and metal will get the net negative charge. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ and ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ will be generated. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ವೀಕ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು ತುಂಬಾನೇ ವೀಕ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದಾಗಿ the carbon will get the positive charge, slightly positive charge, while the metal will get the slightly negative charge. And we know that once the carbon gets the positive charge, we call it as a electrophilic, right? The species that are having a positive charge in it is usually electrophilic in nature. That is why in the Fisher type, the carbenes are electrophilic in nature. Okay, in the Fisher type, the carbenes are electrophilic in nature. Okay, I'll show the structure in the last slide. Okay, the next you have is the Stokes carbene, and that can also be called as alkylidene. Okay, so here, as I already said, in the Stokes carbene there is no presence of what? Heteroatom. In the Fisher carbene there can be a presence of heteroatom like oxygen, nitrogen, etc. Okay, here substituents are what? Only a hydrogen, or it can be alkyl group, and these are formed by early transition metal in a high oxidation number. Okay, if the early transition metal is present in high oxidation state, that can form a Stokes carbene. Okay, while Fisher carbene is usually formed by transition metal with the lower oxidation state. Okay, that is one more difference between a Fisher and Stokes carbene. Okay, in Fisher carbene it is formed by a transition metal with a lower oxidation state, while in the Stokes carbene it is formed by early ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್. ಅರ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಕ್ರೋಮಿಯಂಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಬರುವ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಹೈ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ state. Okay, and these are nucleophilic in nature, as I already said. Here I have given a picture of Stokes carbene. Here you can see this is Stokes carbene having electron in an unpaired condition, and here metal is having a d orbital, right? These are all d orbital that is present on a metal, and here also the electrons are present in unpaired condition. Okay, and what happens is that there will be an interaction between this orbital and this orbital and this orbital and this orbital, so that what happens is that there will be a formation of covalent bond between this, okay, metal and the carbon. And wait, oh sorry, you can read here, the Stokes carbene involves two predominantly covalent interaction. Okay, covalent bond is formed. We know that covalent bond is formed by sharing of the electrons. Since the electrons are shared here and here, the interaction are covalent. Okay, now due to the difference in electronegativity between the metal and the carbon, the covalent bond formed between metal and carbon is slightly polar. Okay, because of what? Electronegativity of the metal and carbon, whatever the bond is formed, no, that will be polar in nature, and because of that reason the carbon will get a slightly negative charge, and while the metal will get slightly positive charge. Now here carbon is negative charge, no, so that is the reason why it is nucleophilic in nature. Okay, Stokes carbenes are nucleophilic in nature. Why? Because since the bond is polar and also the carbon is more electronegative than the metal in this case, it is having slightly negative charge, it is having positive charge, and that's the reason why Stokes carbenes are nucleophilic in nature. And here this is the last slide. I already said the structure and bonding in the metal carbene. And now here if you see the A, this is A, this is the ligand, okay? This is the metal and the carbon bond, and this is the carbon-carbon that is connected to the other groups. Now, you can see the carbon is having positive charge here, the metal is having negative charge. Okay, so this structure, this particular A structure will contribute to the which one, Fischer carbon. Okay, why? Because Fischer carbon is electrophilic in nature, right? So electrophilic means carbon should have positive charge. So this particular structure is contributing to the Fischer carbon. Okay, actually this structure is generated by this. You can see the metal carbon here, metal having double bond with the carbon, and that is connected to other group. So to get this structure, what should happen here? The bond is there, no, or pi electron should shift to metal side. So metal should get the negative side and carbon will get the positive side. Okay, this structure is generated by what? This one. Okay, B in the A ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋದು. Now if you move the pi bond to the carbon side, what happens? The carbon will get the negative sign and a positive charge will be developed on the M, correct? If you move in the opposite direction, this structure is obtained when you move the pi electron to metal side. So if you move the pi electron to this side, you will get this structure, right? The negative charge will be on the carbon. Okay, so this structure or C structure is contributing to which type of carbon? It is Strock's carbon, because Strock's carbons are nucleophilic in nature. So the carbon is should have the negative sign, and this particular structure is responsible for the Strock's carbon, while this structure is contributing to the Fischer carbon. Okay, well, this is about the metal carbon introduction. In the next class we will be studying about the how to prepare the Fischer carbon and Strock's carbon, and also we have to look into their reactivities. Okay, so this is today's video. If you have any doubt, please let me know.